Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. We are approaching the top of the hour, 5:58 over on the East Coast and 2:58 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow. I'll be here for the next several hours as we cover everything related to Operation Epic Fury. We are now in day 7, and as you take a look there, on the right-hand side of your screen, you can once again see the smoke rising over in Beirut, the capital of Lebanon, as Israel is simultaneously striking Tehran in Iran as well as Beirut over in Lebanon. I want to pop this up on your screen right here because as we are in day 7, we know that the U.S. struck an Iranian drone carrier at sea, and this is some of the video that was released by U.S. Central Command. This was earlier on this morning, and you can see that burning carrier there in the video. Now, it's a converted container ship with about a 600-foot-long runway for drones, and it can travel a very long distance without any need to refuel. The head of U.S. Central Command, Admiral Brad Cooper, describing that carrier as, quote, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. Already today, Iran has fired missile and drone attacks into Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain, all countries known to host American military forces. We heard from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warning that Operation Epic Fury targeting the Islamic Republic is, quote, about to surge dramatically, and we heard some similar comments there from President Trump. Now, a little bit ago, Israel's military revealed that it had started a, quote, broad-scale wave of strikes on Iran's capital of Tehran, and we do have some of that video that's coming in from the IDF. We know that explosions were reported in Kermanshah. That's an area of Iran known to house missile bases. The Israel Defense Force is saying its joint strikes with the U.S. have destroyed most of Iran's air defenses and missile launchers. Israel also continuing strikes on the Iran-backed Hezbollah terror group, as I mentioned, over in Lebanon. And we do have those live images that we are continuing to show you right now as the smoke continues to rise. Right now, I do want to talk a little bit more about where everything stands. So let's bring in Colonel Miri Eisen, Senior Fellow at the International Institute for Counterterrorism, former Senior IDF Intelligence Officer, and also former Israeli Prime Minister's advisor. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
I'm always happy to be here and be able to talk to you.
And of course, by the way, we saw that shot change. It looks like it went more toward the Israel, maybe Gaza border there, or Israel-Lebanon. So we're working to get a few shots back out of Beirut, where, again, the smoke is rising. Can you explain for folks out there, as we are at the top of the hour, a lot of people waking up, what the situation is with Hezbollah there in Lebanon and why Israel is kind of simultaneously launching those strikes on Beirut, Lebanon, as well as over in Tehran, Iran?
So, Josh, in the first 2 days of this campaign, Epic Fury, United States and Israel against Iran, Hezbollah, that is a full Islamic regime proxy, sat quietly. And after 2 days, they chose, this was a choice, Hezbollah chose to join in. Hezbollah is made up out of Lebanese Shiites. They sit in Lebanon, very close to the Israeli border. We have been in a war with them, certainly from October 7th, and there was a very not strong ceasefire with Hezbollah over the last year because they continue to hold a very large arsenal. All of their arsenal arrives from the Islamic regime. Once Hezbollah chose to join in, Israel went on the offensive against what remains of Hezbollah's capabilities. So they're firing drones, they're firing missiles, they're firing ATMs, anti-tank missiles, against Israel. Israel is defending ourselves and now physically attacking all of those different bases inside Lebanon. That includes, of course, the capital in Beirut.
And of course, you have Iran that is now launching missiles and striking different areas, or at least attempting to. We actually had some video that came in a bit earlier of what looked to be a missile strike over there in Israel. And a lot of people know about the aerial defense system that exists, but there are missiles and drones that can get through it, right? Especially if you're firing a barrage in that location.
One of the things that Iran has not managed to do is to fire a barrage. What Israel is saying right now is what they're firing is the kind of bomb, in this case missile, which is called a cluster bomb. That's one missile that when in a certain stage along the way, it splits into sometimes hundreds of smaller sub-munitions. I know it's a very technical term, but just think to yourself of one bomb that includes within it lots of small ones, and they go all over the place. So how can I put it as in the good news and the bad news? If you intercept it, then you intercept it before it's split up into lots of little ones. But once it's split up into the lots of little ones, it doesn't have as much impact, but it has a very broad impact in a broader area. So that is, I think, that surprise that Iran wanted to bring to the table. We're managing both to intercept some of them when they have not yet split up. And afterwards, we're, what can I say, behaving responsibly. As soon as you are in a safe room, a safe area, garage, etc., Israelis know at this stage where to go. You are safe from that debris that comes down, and we've been pretty good at that until now.
I wanted to ask about the situation on the ground there. I've talked to a lot of folks who are in Israel in different locations. What has it been like for you over the past several hours here today? Has it changed from what you've seen over the past several days with the sirens, alerts, all of that?
So for all of us here, this is not happy or easy, but you saw me smiling. The amount of actual missiles that are managing to get to Israel is less than June of last year. That means that the effectiveness of the Israeli Defense Forces, of the U.S. forces against the launchers, the missiles, the different sites that they're launching against us is very good. Inside Israel, you know, Josh, when an alert goes off, I up and leave, and you'd see an empty screen because I do not have a real safe room in my house. I may have nice books, but I don't have a safe room. So I walk to the local bomb shelter. And what's happened inside Israel is that local bomb shelters, they're always a couple hundred yards from your house, are like a community event. You go in the day and you're going to meet, because mine is in a school. That's near me. So you're going to meet the kids that were playing in the school, and as soon as the alert goes off, they're going to come into the shelter. And everybody's busy on texting to make sure that mom knows where you are and your family knows where you are. It becomes kind of a communal event, and then we all wait for the okay to come out. And the okay to come out, because of these cluster bombs, is a little bit more delayed now, because they have to make sure that they find any type of debris or bombs that could be out there and could endanger us. But we're being responsible. So yes, I've run to the bomb shelter today. I've come back here. And in the meantime, you know, you get a lot of good time close to home.
We've seen, and we're almost at that 1 week mark since the U.S. and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury. I know it's called something different there in Israel, but since all of this was launched, explain to me, kind of going in reverse here, what was going through your mind when you hear that the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is dead. He is gone, along with about 50 other top Iranian officials. What is the overall significance of that for folks there in Israel?
New Middle East, different Middle East. And it doesn't matter who comes after him, if they choose his son, but we're talking about what was both a religious leader and a political leader who put as the priorities of the Islamic regime of Iran the annihilation, the destruction, the erasing of Israel. His infamous quote that he said many times, that Israel is the cancerous tumor of the world and it needs to be removed for the world to be okay. I'm talking about a quote direct from Ali Khamenei, and his being gone immediately changes it. Whoever comes after him is not going to be the same generation. But the other side of that, and Josh, this is important as an Israeli, was a sense of, wow, we knew where he was, when he was going to be there. He thought that he was going to be defended, and we knew both the intelligence and with the operational capability to take him out and kill him. And that goes to show the length and strength of our own security operational forces. And it makes me proud. And it's not because I love killing people, but in this case, this is about taking out a leader that prioritized the annihilation of the state of Israel, that was building the missiles, wanted nuclear weapons, handing it out to proxies like Hezbollah, and he's gone. And that is a new Middle East.
One thing that's interesting, it's been mentioned a lot over the past several days, is that Iran is not just launching retaliatory strikes on Israel for all of this, but on several other countries. And so far this morning, we know that drones from Iran have been fired over at Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. The list kind of goes on and on. We know Azerbaijan had some missiles fired at them, Turkey. So, what does that say about where Iran kind of stands in this conflict?
So we're going to add into the drones that they've actually fired missiles, ballistic missiles and supersonic missiles at the United Arab Emirates, at Bahrain, that are relatively close to Iran. So it's not just drones. And I want to say that my heart goes out to the people in the Gulf right now who are experiencing something they never expected to experience. Why is Iran doing that? Because, Josh, at the end, Iran plays a dirty game. What Iran wants to do is to shut down the economies of one of the main oil exporters, Saudi Arabia, one of the main gas exporters in the world, Qatar, and to turn the United Arab Emirates, which was kind of like this security safe haven, this new playground for rich and for expats, into an unsafe place. They want to change those countries. And because of that, they're targeting them so that UAE, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, all of these countries have been attacked, will try to pressure the United States to stop the attack against Iran, meaning that's Iran saying, I'm not going to attack the Americans, I'm not going to attack Israel, or I'll attack both the Americans and Israel, but I'll bring them in, all of these countries, to impact the United States to stop the war itself. But what Iran is doing, hand in hand with most definitely impacting the economy, and I cannot belittle what they're doing, they are also turning these countries that had diplomatic ties, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, all of them have diplomatic ties with Iran, and Iran attacked them outright, attacked hotels, attacked schools, attacked urban areas, and constantly says that what they're attacking is only the U.S., and that's not true. And so I think that what Iran is doing is to impact these countries. I think that in the long run, this is a horrific thing. I won't say horrific thing. I think it was a wrong strategy by Iran, by the Islamic regime. And what it's going to bring about is a real change in the way that these countries associate, or more disassociate themselves from Iran in the future.
What about some of the people who are there right now talking about Qatar? You have people in the UAE, which you mentioned. You know, you have these kind of missile explosions that are happening, drone explosions overhead at this point. What is your message to maybe some of the folks who are watching there trying to get out of the Middle East, and right now they just can't? We have that helpline. I know you're not able to see it, but there's a helpline there on the bottom right-hand side of your screen with a phone number and address to help folks. And it's not just about Americans, it's people worldwide who are there. What is your message to those folks?
First of all, that war is terrible and horrible, and that they should never think that that's, a good thing. That right now what is happening is that same Islamic regime that was trying not only to attack these Gulf countries, but has fired, as you said, against Azerbaijan. They've already fired drones against Cyprus. That's already in Europe. And what we're looking at right now is the diminishing of the most destabilizing country regime in the world. And yes, it may take a few more days, and my heart goes out to them, just like it's not easy for me inside Israel. And I'm breathing in deep and saying this actually is something that when it is being done, it will bring about a better future. And in the meantime, we all act responsibly in UAE, in Bahrain, in Qatar. Their defenses have been working extensively to stop the drones, to intercept them, to intercept the missiles, just like here. So I breathe in, I listen to what the authorities say, and within a few days, within a week, these things will change, because as we attack these different capabilities that Iran is using, every time we're diminishing the capability for them to be able to do so. So I know it's not easy. My heart goes out to them. Few more days. This is about changing the future of the Middle East.
All right, Miri Eisen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and helping to break it down. Anything we missed that you want to make sure to add here before I let you go?
I'm just going to say that it is a beautiful spring day here in the Middle East, and war is never happy or nice, But here we're talking about something that has the absolute potential to change for every single person listening to us right now. The Islamic regime with Khamenei at the head really was the head of the snake, and this really is making a difference. So I breathe in deep. I run to the bomb shelter. I want it to be over as well, but I really think that they're doing something here right now that can change all of our future to the better.
Colonel Miri Eisen, thank you again for taking the time to join the show this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you all so much.